What up, though? And welcome to the Boss Up, Ball Out podcast, your trusted source for Detroit Lions news and rumors. I'm your man, Kurt Steele. Do me a quick favor, man. Like the video, share this channel with more Detroit Lions fans just like yourself. We're on the movement to 2,000 subscribers, but we got to get to 1,700 first, and we're at 1,680. So like the video and subscribe to the channel. We appreciate you being part of the Boss Up family. Now, I have a special guest coming on with me today. He is one of the members of an exclusive group, ROTLUK UK. We fell in love with this guy when we used to come on the Free for All Fridays over at Detroit Lions on the Proud. Is my man Antony from Roar of the Lions UK. Good morning, my guy. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing wonderful, Kurt. It is great to do a show with you again. I know you've been busy with everything, and I miss my Lions on the Prowl days. It is good to be back chatting with the Man of Steel himself.
Man, thank you very much, man. And shout out to our beloved Jim Bordeaux, man. Down, I know he's watching down right now, having a blast, man, watching you on our program. All right, my man, we're going to talk about some topics for today. If you're new to the channel, this is how we get down here. We look at Lions news, headlines, or takes. If we agree, we say they're bossed up. If we disagree, we say it's balled on. So let's take a look at our topics for today. All right, so the Detroit Lions player was named the biggest bust potential in 2024. Now, this came over from Proud of Detroit. Is the Detroit Lions linebacking core underrated? And we're going to look at some breakout player candidates on the defense. But first up, I'm going to go to you first, Andy, because I want you to guess who this player is before we reveal who this person is. So who do you think is the biggest potential bust player for the Detroit Lions this season?
So I've not seen, is this from this draft class, or is it just on the team in general?
On the team in general.
Biggest bust in general. You know what? One of the rarest times in the world, I don't think I'd be able to give you an answer because I don't know. Like I have full faith in this team. No one busts on this team, Kurt. So I'm not sure.
All right. So let's reveal who this guy is. Now, this article is coming over from Microsoft Sports. I believe it's he writes for the Sporting News. Let's reveal who this guy is. It is the only Marcus Davenport is revealed as the biggest bust potential for the Detroit Lions. And here's a couple of reasons why. He has a lengthy injury history, lack of production when he was in the lineup. He's only had his career high in sacks were 9. That's back within Saints days. That's why he has a Saints jersey on instead of a Vikings jersey. You know why? Because we didn't see him on the field last year. He was hurt again last year. And they say that the team should consider adding another veteran defensive end because he's just not reliable and he's going to be a bust this season. So I put it to you, my man, Antony. Do you believe that Marcus Davenport could be a bust this season? If you agree, you're going to boss up. If you disagree, you're going to say it's balled on.
I think it would be JMO if anyone's gonna. I feel like this is JMO's year, like where if he doesn't do well, then everybody would be over it. Davenport's a 1-year guy here. Not taking a snap for us yet, but obviously we gave a first-round pick and traded up to get him. So I agree that Davenport obviously could be a bust here, but I think that the same goes for the entire edge room. You can put that, like Pascal's in a very critical year 3. We need to see him get better. Houston need to see if he's over the injury, see if he can get better. I feel like all the edges are in that category. Even Kaminsky, he's on good wage. If he doesn't get back to 2022, Kaminsky, he could be. But I would disagree. I think it's JMO who's the one who will really be done over if he doesn't do well this year.
So it's a balled on take from Antony.
Balled on.
As UK. He said it's balled on. All right, let's look at this again. Let me know what you think in the comments. Y'all know how we get down here. Hashtag bossed up. If you agree that Marcus Davenport could be the biggest potential bust in 2024, or if you say it's balled on like Antony and think it's someone else. All right, let's get into the comments this morning. All right, Brent DeWitt says, good morning, Kurt and Antony. What's up, my man, Brent DeWitt, fellow veteran? Salute. I hear you, boy. All right, King SJ, man, love to see King SJ coming over from our lines on the Proud Days. What's going on? All right, my gut feeling is JMO. Hey, look at Antony, man. Look at that. King SJ, not saying he will be. That's cool, of course. Brent DeWitt said, I understand the reason why, but I hope he can stay healthy for us. I get it. And he's a Brad Homer special. Y'all know what a Brad Homer special is, man. He's one of those guys who comes to the team on a prove-it deal, and either he, comes in and balls out, or he flames out. Look at Charles Harris. He came over. He was great first, and then all of a sudden, he had to go. So, yeah, that's why he's not in Detroit right now. All right, let's get back another one. I understand reasons why. Okay, wait a minute. I skipped some. I had to skip some guys. Okay, bossed up ballers in the house. My man Moonscar Blaze is in the building. What's going on? Bo Booth says, good morning, bosses. Woo! To the Ant-Man is in the building, right? Even Davenport, of course, as we talked about. All right, saying healthy. Interesting, Davenport. My hope is Davenport will be able to rotate and hopefully lessen the risk of another injury. I believe that as well. Nothing but the smoke. Good morning, and what up, though? All right, Moonscar says balled on Reader more important than Davenport. Okay, I hope to God that Reader's not a bust. All right, what up though? Lions rule, Bears drew. Okay, of course. Okay. Courtney Nicholson says ball out. Early bust predictions. Davenport will rebound like a Super Bowl and from the 60s. I remember those Super Bowls. I'm a 70s baby, so I remember those things. Okay, a ball down on early bust predictions, nothing but a smoke. Hey, it happens, man. You look at it. Now, for me, in my opinion, I hope to God that nobody is a bust this season. But I tend to agree a smidgen. So I'm going to say that's bossed up. I think that he has, and I think it's because of the fact that most people project him to be a starter. He comes in, he's a veteran player. He's coming off an injury. So we're looking at, you look at the fanfare he came in with this offseason, having a press conference, everything like that coming in. A big name, has a history with Aaron Glenn and Dan Campbell. So I think that is the reason why that some of the people are picking for him to be the potential biggest bust for the Detroit Lions. They don't have faith in him, like for the reasons that we gave on the slide: injury history, lack of production. We know what DJ Reader can do, but we've just scratched the surface of what Davenport can do, and that's why he hasn't lived up to his potential coming, looking at where he was taken out of college. All right, so we got one more comment here. Go Kurt. What's going on, buddy? What's going on? How are we doing? Okay, bust alert. Is Caleb Williams throws more interceptions than touchdowns? That's possible. That's possible. They're putting a lot of pressure on that young fella in Chicago. We'll see how he adjusts to the program. That's my thing, because if you look at how he played in college, I like Oklahoma Caleb Williams better than I like USC Caleb Williams. What do you think about that?
I mean, he looks so happy there, doesn't he? You saw him in the picture of his signing his contract yesterday. It's like he's been told his puppy's been run over or something like that. That's how excited he is to be in Chicago. And those fans are really talking it like this time last year. It was, Justin Fields is going to run all over you all. You're not going to know what's hit you, etc. And now it's just the same with Caleb, and they're going to put all the pressure on him. If he doesn't perform right away, which most rookie quarterbacks do not do, they'll get all over him, and before you know it, they'll be after another one. Like CJ Stroud's an anomaly. They think he's going to do that because he's got better weapons, but you're in a tough division. You're in a tough conference. It doesn't work that way.
And I still don't think that they've done enough to address that offensive line in Chicago. I just don't think they have. They've done what our old regime did. They signed a lot of backup players to be starters, and I see that worked out in Detroit with under Quinn Trisher's rule. A lot of paying the backup players starter money that didn't work out. But my guys in the building, Broski Bear, what up, though? Kurt the Hitman, what's going on, man? Broski, and this is funny for you, bloody red coat. You know what, though? I love Broski Bear. He is my guy. I know he's a Bears fan, and he's a Bears guy, and I appreciate him for his context and what his takes are. The healthy conversation. You're not gonna trick me into arguing with you, Broski. So that's just not how I get down. That's not my personality. So I'm gonna let you have your say. I'm gonna respect your opinion, but I'm not gonna argue with you, man. It ain't gonna happen. All right, that's topic for today. Pride of Detroit says the Lions linebacker core seems to be underrated, ranked 22 by PFF and 16th by ESPN. And ESPN, even though they ranked them 16th, they did not get great positional grades for each player in the linebacking core. And one of the reasons that they gave this and from PFF was that the lack of star power of big names in that linebacking core. And they talked about the lack of production in the pass defense by one Mr. Young Jack Campbell. Graded high against the run, but against the pass, he was one of the lowest ranked linebackers in the league. And here's a question, and we're going to give the boss up ball out in a minute, but can Alex Anzalone lead them? Because he's one of the higher rated players. A couple of years ago, actually after that 2022 season, he was ranked one of the top 10 linebackers in the league. He's probably around number 10, number 9. If you look at especially how he played at the end of the season when we prevented the Green Bay Packers from going to the playoffs, you look at how he played in those final stretches of that season, I can see why he was rated a top 10 quarterback going into last season, but credit to this season, it's just not happening. They just no love for the Lions linebacker core, and I can understand why. But Andy, okay, do you think that the Lions linebacker core is underrated? I'm going to say that saying they're underrated is a bald on take. I disagree with that. I think they're rated kind of right where they needed to be. And until they can prove it on the field, I don't think that this is a great linebacking core. I think they have some issues, especially in coverage. And with that being said, I don't think that, I think the 16th is more of where they should be, kind of the middle of the pack. I think 22 is a little low, but I think they have the potential to be better this year with the maturation of Jack Campbell and the improved play of Derek Barnes. And of course, Anzalone is always going to play with his hair on fire. So what do you think? Is the linebacker core underrated, or do you think that they're right where they need to be?
Biggest boss up I could ever give in my life.
Yeah,
I do think they're underrated quite highly in a way that, I don't like to talk about a lot of other teams because, I don't know their players as well as their fans do, etc. I think you have to know our linebackers to, know what you're getting with them. And I think we've got a very good unit here. As you said, we've got a very solid veteran in Alex Anzalone, who was playing some of the best football of his career. I mean, he was one of those, when he first came here, I was like, nah, this isn't it. But I think I was just scarred from all those years of having Jamie Collins and Jelani Tavai and all this, in our group, and they were no good. But Anzalone's proven himself to be a high-level veteran, which you need. And then you look at the room around him, and I look at how the players are developing, because linebacker is an incredibly difficult position to master. And when you think of it, we've got 3 guys on rookie contracts in there behind Anzalone. You've got 3 rookies and 1 vet. It's very difficult to be an elite unit when you've got 3 guys who are learning on the job. Barnes got thrown in right away. He was on one of the first draft classes from Brad. We had no depth in the team. You've got to throw him in there, and it's like you threw him into water and he sunk a little. But it's very difficult. He was put into a situation where he couldn't really succeed. But you've seen over the years, they've been able to drop his reps a bit. They've been able to get him going. And you saw at the end of last year, the guy that we invested in the draft. And I think he's going to be a really good player. And I think if we use his ability to get into the backfield a bit more, we use him as the blitzing guy, I think he's going to be really good for us. With Campbell, It was his year one. So he's going to be our Anzalone for the next 10 years. He's going to be the green dot. He's going to be the leader. He's going to be the guy who leads by example. It's very difficult to just come in and be that guy year one. You don't see any linebackers, not rookie ones, in the Pro Bowl, in the All Pros, or anything like that. There's a reason why, because it takes years to be able to get there. But we saw in flashes what he could be. He's already doing well against the run. Coverage, yeah, could be a better, but massive differentiation between receivers in the NFL and in college. Really, it's going to take time to adjust. And then you've got depth. Rodrigo had his really good rookie year. Fair enough, he wasn't used as much last year, but he worked his ass off on special teams. He was called up in the playoffs. He came in and played really well. I think we've got a very young room that's developing, but it's going to be really good going forward. Like I say, we've got a veteran, we've got a future leader, we've got good depth pieces, and then you've got your really good special teams guy, Reeves Mabin, all that lot. I think it's a very good room that's underrated. It's just, as you said, there's a lack of star names in there, but they're not going to be stars while they're rookies. So, I'm actually very high on our group. I'm glad, really, that there's not been any additions to the room this year, because I want them to get the game time to become the guys we know they can be. Barnes balls out, Campbell balls out, Rodrigo gets his snaps and balls out. We're going to be just fine in that room for a very long time. So I think they are underrated, but just because no one sees them as we, our fans, do. I know what they're going to become, and I know what they can be. No one else does, just because they're not big names.
Right. And one guy that kind of gets left out of the picture is a guy who came in and played great for us in spells last year, is Reeves Mabin. People just really look at him as a special teamer, but he gets quality snaps, and he definitely can bring something to the linebacker room that, he plays kind of like Anzalone, speed. He can cover. That's probably one of our best cover linebackers right there in Germ. So I like what he brings to the table. And with Jack Campbell, he wasn't rated high in man coverage in college. He was more of a zone linebacker. He plays well in zone, doesn't play that well in man, and just trying to do that at the pro level, like you said, in the first year, can be tough for him. So let us know in the comments what you think. Bossed up if you think that the Lions linebacker core is underrated, or balled on if you think that they're right where they need to be. All right, let's get back into the comments. Bo Boops up first says Anzo is totally disrespected. Okay. All right. So Broski Bears, not trying to get you to argue, but if you disagree, just asking you why you agree or disagree. Okay, I feel you. All right. Bo Boop, Anzo is a glorified special teamer. I know you know better. No. He wasn't even a great special teamer in New Orleans. He was more of a third down coverage linebacker there in New Orleans, coming out of Florida. So yeah, I don't agree with that take at all. All right, linebacker core is our weaker position. Okay. 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 All right. One time I said, I got you, Kurt, man. I still delegate that out, and I can handle your lightweight, Kurt. Hey, broski, that's how it feels to have the worst offensive line. And how does it feel to have the worst offensive line in the game? Yeah, I look at that offensive line, and yeah, if they don't fix that, he's gonna have to run like Fields did last year. All right, Grant rising from a Detroit transplant in Dallas. Go Lions, man. Hey, I'm down here in North Carolina, man. We are transplant right now, of course, except for Ant, because he's living in over there in the UK, but he's just a lion to his heart, man. He got some of that Detroit Kool-Aid bumping through his veins, man. We know how he gets down. All right, Lions usually play two linebackers, middle or above, taking that into consideration. Yeah, we do run a lot of 4-2-5 defense, where we have the 4 down linemen, 2 linebackers, and 5 defensive backs. So yeah, I'll get you. All right, so looking at this, all right, double A is like Levi. Both keep proving me wrong. I'm glad that they are. Linebackers are underrated, in my opinion. I get you there, Brent. And Anzalone wasn't. You got to remember, coming over from New Orleans, he was a outside linebacker. He was an off the ball guy. He had to learn how to play middle linebacker in Detroit, and they thought thought enough of him to bring him in to play that role. So, all right, they'll be better this year based on an improved defensive line and improved secondary. Yes, they are working in sync to make themselves better. We all know that if the defensive line can get pressure and open up rush lanes for the linebackers to cover and in the run game, and for them to blitz, that's definitely going to be a improvement. What you got there, Ant?
I was just saying, no one takes this into consideration. Just how good was our run defense last year? That's not just the defensive tackles that are doing that. That is as much as your linebackers as it is your defensive tackles. In the run game, the linebackers were great. Like all of them. Jack Campbell, great first year there. Anzalone, most tackles on the team, always does. Rodrigo, good against the run. These guys are really good. It doesn't help that the secondary behind them has been terrible. They've had a lot of issues. They get no help from the secondary, but people say that it's a bad group, but we had one of the best run defenses in the league, and that is down to your linebackers as much as everyone just says, "Oh, it's the DTs." It's not. I love our DTs very much, but it's your linebackers as well. These guys came in and they stopped people running on it, like really good running backs, just stuffed time after time after time, and it's all down to the linebackers helping out.
Yes, definitely. I agree with you 100% on that. All right, time to go into the last topic for today's show. And we're going to talk about potential breakout players on the defense. All right, so I want you to give me a couple before I show the slide there. And so, who do you have as potential breakout players? Give me two. Just give me two guys and see if I agree with you.
I think Terrion Arnold's going to break out very, very quickly this year. I think he's going to be great from the get-go. There's just something about him. I don't know what it is, but it's just the man's cocky. He's confident. He's different to anything I've seen us have at corner in years. So he's certainly going to break out. And I do think Campbell will be the one this year. He's going to have a really good year too. He's wet his beat now. He's getting adapted to the NFL. He's just going to keep getting better. And, given by production alone, obviously I think it's just going to explode this year. But I think we're going to see a much better guy year two. So Campbell and Arnold for me are the two who are really gonna show people this year.
All right, so I'm gonna give my candidates, right? I'm gonna put them up on the screen right now. We agreed on some stuff, man. I got Jack Campbell was one of my guys, Terrion Arnold, of course, and Aleem McNeil. And people say, well, Aleem McNeil's already a good player. He is not a nationally known name. He's not a big name. He's a big name for us Detroit Lions fans. But if you outside of our fan base, a lot of people don't know who Aleem McNeil is. He has splashes here and there, like the game against the Giants a couple of years ago. We know that he slimmed down and he makes bigger plays, but is he a big name on the national stage? I don't think he's a household name in the league right now. But I think with the addition of DJ Reader, it's going to help him get to a nationally known player throughout the NFL. I think he is definitely going to help him this year with all the double teams that that DJ Reader is going to demand on the field. Aleem McNeil is going to be a guy who can be a breakout star where he's nationally known. He could be one of those guys that leads the defensive tackles in sacks this year. All right, so let us know what you think down in the comments, man. Let us know who you think the breakout players on the defense can be. Let's get back into the chat right quick. So we got my man Rod Coca says, good morning, Kurt. What up, though? All right. Multi-miss says, Phil, we're talking about how does it feel to have a injury-prone running back running behind that terrible offensive line? Yeah. All right, Bobu says, Germ make plays, man. Germ does make a lot of plays. I like Germ, man. There's a reason why he was All-Pro last year. He was All-Pro twice. He was All-Pros by the Players Association and their rating and the AP. So, I'm just saying. All right, so got to beat Stafford and running back to break Chrome. Okay. All right, buddy. All right, boss up, Antony. All right, right on, Kurt. By week 12, they will be the talk of the NFL linebacker cruise. Okay, I feel you on that. All right, I guess Broski got scared off of facts again. Okay, nope, here he is, right back to back. More time again, you drank the blue Kool-Aid. How does it feel to have the worst offensive line when the Bears had the top 2 rushing offense 2 years ago and second rushing offense last season? Get it together. Well, I would say this. I don't think it was the offensive line. I think it was Justin Fields, to be honest with you. You know, a lot of those plays that like big runs he had were broken plays. So yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And when he couldn't throw the ball for over 200 yards a game, you've got to rely on running the ball. So
yeah, you have to. All right, Swift B will be on that. We'll be on IR by week 3. Williams, we be bench by week 4. Oh wow, ooh, dang, Motown giving them the business. All right, Captain Jack is a breakout pick. I believe that as well. ADG says I'm a little behind, but I'm glad the team doesn't view JMO like fans do. It's obvious people don't know what JMO is. I would say this: coming out of college, people didn't really know Jameson Williams as far as, you know, they didn't follow him at Alabama, and you know he was more of a kind of a gadget player. You know, he was a big time punt returner, made some really big plays at Alabama, but he kind of got sucked up in a really good receiving core down there in Alabama as well. So, but I hope he has I think he's going to have a great year. What do you think, Ant?
I mean, I don't think that I'm one of probably the only few people who say this. I think the team have done him dirty. I don't think the team have, like Jameson Williams, every single week you see go out there and there's a highlight block or a highlight play. There's him absolutely busting a gut to make plays for this team, and they refuse to give him the ball. Like, I don't like that. There's like most of the shots he gets are moon balls down deep, etc. You've got to give him the ball as much as possible. Give it him on end around. Give it him in the slot. You just get the ball in your best playmaker's hands. Do what the Dolphins do with Tyreek Hill. That is how you've got to use him. And he's earned touches. Like, I'm fed up of hearing it. You've got to earn it. He's earned his touches here. He doesn't get the touches that he deserves. I think the team have done him wrong. So I'm hoping this year the team, especially now Reynolds isn't here, and he's hopefully going to step up into that wide receiver 2 role. He is going to get the touches that he deserves, and then he can go make plays for you. He's our weapon. He's our secret weapon. He's what unlocks, you know, what that game against Tampa the other year when we were just getting nothing against them, and then we hit the big ball down to JMO. He unlocked it, broke it open. We won that game. We need to see more of that. The team need to do better when it comes to JMO. So I hope they do this year.
Yeah, I think that with the absence of Josh Reynolds, I think you're right. I think he'll get more. You look at more touches. You look at how he played in the NFC Championship game, man. He caught some great passes, and that touchdown at the end of the game when we try and make a comeback was key. So you look at the plays he were making. He could run the route tree just fine, and his hands are better than what they were when he first started in Detroit. So I think he's poised to have a big season. All right, Pobu said, I saw you smiling at DT's Kurt. Yeah. I just smile, man. I love it, man. I just love talking Lions football. This is my happy place. So McNeil is a great pick also. I think he is, man. All right, bossed up on all those 3 players. Carlton Davis III will be a household name. Okay, you know, he was a couple of years ago when the Buccaneers won the Super Bowl. He definitely was a big key contributor on that team back in there in the secondary. All right, Houston is Doug Michael Rosen's pick. What's going on, man? I got Carlton Davis and Lee McNeil. Okay, balling out. All right. Buddy says maybe Wingo. Man, I like Wingo, man. That he has that build of a Aaron Donald or not saying he's going to be Aaron Donald. I just like that short, compact, and he has a lot of power when he going up against some of those taller interior offensive guards. So hey, it is about that time to get out of here, man. Hey, I want to get you guys to work. Y'all know how we do it right here on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We do our live shows. We do a half an hour. We don't want to, hold you up from getting to work on time or getting back to work if you're already at your desk or whatever you do, however you work. But my man, Antony, tell people how they can find you and your content.
So you can find me at Roar of the Lions UK. We are a group of Detroit Lions fans from across the pond, very passionate guys. So we go live on Mondays. We do a few other shows during the week. I do a college football show as well. So if you want to come and hear about the Lions and the NFL from a British perspective, hit us up at Roar of the Lions UK.
Yeah, definitely. They college football show is fantastic, man. I have yet to find, even on the American side, it's a lot of guys I know that can put the content they do to can match their content as far as what college football and their scouting department what they do over there on their football show, college football show. Um, Definitely make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share us with more Lions fans just like yourself, man. We like what we do right here. If you like the show, man, go ahead and drop us a comment as well. Tell us how we're doing, man. We're on our way to 2,000 subscribers, but we got to get to 1,700 first. We're at 1,680 as the time we're recording this show, man. We appreciate you. And do me a favor, because my guys, Coach Mike Jones and LL, we do our recorded shows on Monday and Wednesday and live on Tuesday and Thursday. So go ahead and follow us on your favorite social media platforms, man. We have some great content over there. Post some lives, some reels, and everything over on those social media platforms as well. Hey, thank you for joining us right here on the Boss Up Ball Out podcast. And whatever you do in life, you guys do one thing for your boy Kurt Steele. You guys to boss up, ball out, and be the best version of you that you can be. My man Antony from ROTLUK UK. This is your man Kurt Steele, and I will holla at you real soon.